Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story comes out of Las Vegas, so this is going to be an update. So I want you guys to know this is not the exact same video. This is a slight update because we're going to give you guys a little more information on what you had before, maybe even a little more insight. So if you would, just bear with me. I'm going to try to make some audio adjustments to try to fix this so I can make sure that you guys can hear this and hear it clearly. There was an interview that the mom and boyfriend did in this story of the missing Las Vegas boy, and I'm going to just flat out tell you guys, I believe that the mother and boyfriend are complicit in the disappearance of that boy that you see on my screen right there. Okay? And his name is Amari. Let me see. Let me make sure I get his whole name here. Amari Nicholson. Amari Nicholson is 2 years old. And somebody needs to be an advocate for this boy. We don't know where he's at right now, and we don't even know why he's gone. But what I believe is that the boyfriend gave this boy up, sold this boy, did something, but that's my opinion, and I think the mom knows it. The mom could even be scared of this boyfriend. But I want y'all to look at this interview. Look at this interview and look at how weird this is. And even more people, since we've done this story, have come out and said, you know what? That interview did look really, really weird. Okay? Let me give you guys a story real quick. Right now, there is still no sign of the Las Vegas toddler who's missing since last Wednesday. Amari Nicholson, that beautiful baby boy that y'all see right there on my screen, reportedly was handed over to a woman who was claimed to be the boy's aunt by his mother's boyfriend. Hashtag mom's boyfriend. Yes, I believe they're lying. Yes, the live chat is open. Y'all can speak y'all mind. That's what it's for, okay? He's been missing ever since then. For 5 days at least. Volunteers have been canvassing the area and giving out flyers. So far, they have nothing. We just want him to come home safely, and that's according to, let me see, Marlisha Everett, who is the little boy's aunt. We're hoping, and matter of fact, I don't even think that's the aunt that this man supposedly gave the kid to. But y'all just got to hear it. So just to let you know, this boyfriend did not have a description of the aunt. Did not. Some random woman came by saying that she was the aunt, and he said, okay, I'll go get his things together, and I'm just going to hand him over to you. And that's all he knows. It's complete BS, and I want you guys to listen at their interview. So at about 3:11 p.m. on May 5th, the boy identified as Amari Nicholson was reported missing in the area of the 3600 block of Paradise Road near Sands Avenue. All hospitals are asked to check their registries for him and notify police. Authorities are asking if any leads or tips might aid in their investigation to make sure and call them. Previous reports of a boy found near a dumpster were unfounded, so that was not him. There are conflicting stories by the family members as well. We heard from the father, Giorgio Hayes, which is spelled Jyrgio. We're going to skip his interview because I think this one between them is a bit more important. So let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's not waste any time. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And yes, if you guys are posting that in the chat, I do believe this dude might be somewhat of a pimp. I don't know that for a fact, but he just comes off like he's her pimp. Okay, volume is okay. Let's go ahead and get started.
Finger pointing and confusion tonight over the disappearance of a 2-year-old boy. Amari Nicholson has been missing for more than 2 days now.
And tonight we're hearing from the boy's mother and her boyfriend, and they're now saying that someone kidnapped him. Fox 5's Joe VL joining us now with more on what the couple is saying. Joe.
Yeah, that's right. I talked to the couple today. Now, the mother flat out said some of what she's saying may certainly sound confusing to people, but she says someone took her son. She is struggling with a little boy who hasn't come home and wants the public to help find him. It has been 2.5 days since anyone has heard anything about 2-year-old Amari Nicholson.
Panic mode, freaking out, crying, screaming, just my baby's gone.
Amari's mother, Taylor Nicholson, says she got the news her son was missing on Wednesday while she was in Colorado taking care of her mother who was attacked by a dog. She left Amari with her boyfriend, who considers Amari his son, at the Emerald Suites near the Strip. Now, he says Wednesday, just after 6 a.m., someone knocked on the door.
And it was a woman saying that she was her baby daddy's sister. And she said she was there to pick up my stepson.
Terrell Rhodes says she called Amari's mom in Colorado.
I turned around to call her to tell her if this are this true, was this really prearranged? And as I'm doing that, she said she don't need anything for my stepson. They got everything they need for him, and basically just took off.
Nicholson says she missed Rhodes' call.
No, I was still asleep, so my phone, I didn't hear the first few calls until it was already too late.
Now, this is where things get a little confusing. The mother tells me she and Rhodes got into an argument about her being away from Vegas and told him someone would be stopping by, but didn't say exactly who and didn't say why they were coming over.
But you didn't know her though, correct? You never seen her? So did you not know this person you're letting take Amari away?
I mean, from my knowledge, I already was told like someone was going to stop by, somebody was going to, but I never knew who. So I still had that in my head that somebody was coming by.
But bottom line, Nicholson says she never gave anyone permission to come and pick up Amari. She says Rhodes did not give Amari to the woman. She took him and just wants him back safe.
In this whole story, it sounds confusing. It sounds like we're lying. It sounds like, you know, it's just a big confusion.
Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions. What I want to do is I want y'all, if y'all are listening to the sound of my voice, do me a favor and click that thumbs up. Share this stream. I want more people to be able to see this, okay? So we have a goal of 400 thumbs up. If we can get there, that would be awesome. That's all I ask. So what I want you guys to do is click that thumbs up. I want y'all to listen. This is going to be the full interview. I'm going to have to pause it from time to time to make sure that we get our volumes correct, because I want to make sure that it's not distorted. But I want y'all to listen to this. We are just getting started. So if you're just coming in, we're just getting started. Listen to this. This is the full interview. This is the full interview. So I want y'all to hear this. Let's get it.
Taylor Nicholson, TAYLERNICHOLSON.
Terrell, TERRELLRA.
Actually, you know what? Let me swap that video out. I put up a better one. Hold on. I put up a better video. Yep, here we go. Sorry about that. Let's listen to this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Taylor Nicholson,
Okay.
TAYLERNICHOLSON.
Okay, and your service?
TERRELRHODES.
How's his last name?
Rhodes.
Roltz.
RHODES.
Okay. Do you guys both live in Las Vegas then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess just tell me your thoughts. I mean, this is 2 days now without your son. I mean, what's going through your mind?
We're devastated and hoping for the best of his safe return, and just saying our prayers and hoping that God's looking out for him and that he's not in any type of distress or danger. We just want our baby back as soon as possible and in the best condition possible.
And your thoughts?
Prone to the amount that the father's saying that his sister didn't come get him. And if that's really the case, then where's my son?
I mean, it seems to be, yeah, I mean, there's different stories floating around out there. I mean, can you just explain to me what you think happened? Or
He had got a knock on the door at 6 in the morning from a lady representing herself as Giorgio's sister. And then situation process, he's trying to call me to figure out what's going on. And I'm asleep in Colorado and I was
you think this was?
And I know that that wind is terrible. I wish they didn't have as much wind. If they maybe could have did this in a different location, but I turned this volume up as much as I can. If y'all are having issues listening, I'm sorry, but I really tried to adjust this volume the best I could.
The father's sister who
To
came?
my knowledge, yes.
And what is her name?
Jasmine Stovall.
Okay, and his sister. And why would she come there?
I'm not sure. They knew the area where we lived, but they never knew the apartment, so they stalked us until they were able to find where the baby was.
Why would she take him?
Because the dad wanted to be the father of the child.
He didn't want to see him getting raised by me and her. He wanted to be in his child's life with the rest of his kids. Apparently, he has a house. He has a stable foundation with 4 other more children, and the only missing piece was mine.
I've always tried to be the cordial parent, has never not allowed him to see him or contact him. I was always told him, as long as you put in the effort to be in the child's life and show that you're trying to be the father, then, you know, that's fine. But he wasn't doing that. He wouldn't reach out, wouldn't call. It would always just be a message and once in a blue moon. It was never consistent, never like he really wanted to do that. And then we had an argument on Monday, and then he did this on Wednesday.
So, you're saying that she came and took him. Has anybody talked to her at this point?
Police talked to her. We've called. They're denying everything. They've been searched, and he's nowhere to be found. So we're just waiting till he shows up somewhere.
So she's saying that
Can y'all hear this? Yeah, as the child. Thank you. She keeps referring to her own son as the child. Let me also give a shout out to Leave It to Bieber in the chat. Much love. Thank you for being here. She said the child.
didn't take him, right?
I hope this is loud enough. I'm really trying to turn this up. They sitting there whispering into the mic. Like, why even do an interview if you're not going to speak up so we can hear you?
So who do you know who went there with him in the first place then?
What do you mean?
With the hotel, who took Amari to the hotel? Was he?
What hotel?
It wasn't. Weren't they staying at the Emerald Suites?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where we live.
That's where you live. Okay, I'm confused. So
We lived at the Emerald Suites, and nobody knew which apartment or whatever, so they stood outside watching to see where we were.
okay.
And then that's when they realized, they finally saw Amari and saw him with him, and then that's when they came up here.
So who was at the Emerald Suites that day then?
He was left with Terrell.
With you? Okay. That's what I thought. And so, can you just explain what were you guys doing prior to, or what were you doing in the morning?
Before that occurred, we had just woke up. I had just fed him breakfast, and I was in the room on my phone at this time, laying down. He's in there playing with his toys, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, and it was a woman saying that she was her baby daddy's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was there to pick up my stepson.
And did you know her? Do you know her?
I'd never seen any sides of her baby daddy's family.
So you didn't know this
never
woman.
recognized them.
So then what happened?
So then I go to proceed to, okay, I'm going to pack him a bag up, pack some of his belongings up, and when that happens, I turn around to call her to tell her if this are this true, was this really prearranged?
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm doing that, she says she don't need anything from my stepson. They got everything they need for him, and basically just took off.
So you gave? Did she take him then at that point?
After that, she just basically said she got everything that she needs for him, and just left.
Now, but you didn't know her though, correct? You never seen her. So you didn't? Did you not know this person you're letting take Amari away?
I mean, from my knowledge, I already was told like someone was going to stop by, somebody was going to but I never knew who. So I still had that in my head that somebody was coming by.
Who said somebody was going to come by?
That's what I was notified from my girlfriend prior to those days leading up.
Okay, so did you tell him that somebody was going to come by and get him?
I never said anybody was coming to get anybody. It was, but I did say somebody would be by. So with that being planted in his head, he
That's what I took that as. That's
took
what
it as she was there for a morning.
So who do you think actually what came to the door and took him away then? Do we even know?
We know, and police are investigating everything and doing the best of what they can to try to reach out to everyone and try to find him wherever he is.
And I'm sorry, just so I'm clear then, who do you think came to the door that day and took him away?
His sister.
His sister, okay. So do you think indeed that was the sister who came that day
Yes.
to take the, okay. And what did she say to you? I mean, did you talk to her?
the only words that we had were that she was there to pick up my stepson, and that she already had talked to my girlfriend about it. So when I turned around to go pack his bags up, get his few belongings together, she already said that.
If y'all ain't able to hear this clearly, I said ain't. If y'all aren't able to hear this clearly, let me know. But I adjusted the volume as much as I could. This is actually the better volume version. It's just really hard to hear. So basically what they're saying is that she didn't directly say that somebody was coming to pick up her son. He said what he's saying is that somebody came and knocked on his door, said that they were the aunt, and that he needed to pack up a bag and pick up the kid. First of all, most boyfriends hate the baby daddy. Am I lying? Most boyfriends hate the baby daddy, and most boyfriends aren't going to turn around and be interacting and giving custody of that kid up to any family member, right? That's not usually what happens. So for him to be like, oh, okay, I've never met you, but I know you're the aunt, so I feel, because if you didn't know for sure, why in the hell would you give up the kid? Why would you give up her kid? It ain't even your kid. Which is also why I believe he did it, and because of the fact that it's not his kid, he doesn't have any emotional tie. He probably hates the baby daddy. He probably think the dude is quote unquote lame, right? He think the dude is lame. He think the kid came from a lame. He don't want the kid. He just wants the woman. That's it. This sounds like a pimp and hoe situation, and that they trying to come up with this cockamamie story so that they can get this kid out of their life. They just don't know nothing. They don't know what happened, and they can move on with their little happy pimp and hoe life. Am I right or am I wrong? That's what it sounds like.
She didn't need anything. They had everything for him, and that's it.
So you didn't even give him all of his things and stuff then,
She
correct?
didn't take anything.
She didn't take anything from you guys. Okay. So now, did you okay the sister to come and get him?
No, but his family never knew where we lived. They knew the area, but not the apartment number. And
Bingo, right there. First thing she said, she said, we did not make an agreement with them, and they didn't know where we were living. Should both of them not be in jail with no bond for that statement alone? If the police don't arrest them on that statement alone, then I don't know what we're doing here. She has an only, well, you got the link. Actually, do me a favor, Elissa D, send it to my inbox on Facebook, if you would, please. I was going to say post it in the chat, but let's not post it in the chat. I don't want to give her, thank you. This sounds exactly like the Jackie and Trezell case. It sounds the exact same. They both came out with these wild, stupid stories. The next thing I think is going to happen is I think a GoFundMe is going to pop up. What do y'all want to bet? They're going to talk about they need lawyer fees, they need help finding the kid, and we need $150 million GoFundMe to help us out. to help us find the kid that our body language is telling us we don't care about, and her arms behind her back, and she looking down. Girls like her look down because that's what the hoes do to pimps. They don't look them directly in the eye. They don't look other men directly in the eye. They look down. They be looking everywhere except for direct eye contact. Or maybe I'm just speaking out my behind right now. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
I never spoke to anyone giving the okay for anyone to come and take him or have him or anything. They just showed up uninvited.
Okay. So you never told him that she was coming?
No.
But did you tell him somebody was coming?
Yes.
So she said she didn't tell her boyfriend that the aunt was coming, but she said somebody is. Let's back that up. Let me let y'all hear that again.
The only words that we had were that she was there to pick up my stepson, and that she already had talked to my girlfriend about it. So when I turned around to go pack his bags up, get his few belongings together, she already said that she didn't need anything. They had everything for him, and that was it.
So you didn't even give him all of his things and stuff then,
She
correct?
didn't take anything.
She didn't take anything from you guys. Okay. So now, did you?
I want y'all to listen when she starts talking right here. Listen to what she has to say.
You okay the sister to come and get him?
No. But his family never knew where we lived.
His family never knew where we lived.
They knew the area, but not the apartment number.
They knew the area, but not where they lived. I'm going to back that up. I'm going to let y'all hear it again.
You didn't even give him all of his things and stuff then,
She
correct?
didn't take anything.
She didn't take anything from you guys. Okay. So now, did you okay the sister to come and get him?
No. But his family never knew where we lived. They knew the area, but not the apartment number. And I never spoke to anyone giving the okay for anyone to come and take him or have him or anything.
So here is the key point, and this is why I don't like the police and investigators dragging their feet. Thank you. You just asked it in the chat. So how did they find him then? How do you find, like in the area where they live in Las Vegas. Out of all the homes, all the hotels, all the places that are out there, if they didn't know exactly where they lived at, how did they find where they live at? Huh? Let me ask you this. If I told you guys I lived in Stockton, California, let's just say if I said the north side of Stockton, California, would y'all be able to find where I live at just based on that alone? And there's a lot of people that actually know my face and know who I am. I'm not so sure if people know their face and know who they are. How would they just be able to find them, come to a city and just find the house or hotel that they're staying at? How is that even possible? When you call a hotel, most hotels won't even tell you what room number a person is staying in, even if you get the right hotel. Am I lying? I'll say that again. If I told y'all I was staying at the Holiday Inn, you could call the Holiday Inn and tell them we're looking for Jay, for DJ Just Jay. What room number is he in? And they won't even tell you. Out of 3, 4, 5, 600 rooms, they're still not going to tell you which one I'm in, which still means you would know what floor I'm on or what room I'm in. How would you find me? I don't know if y'all remember that part in the movie The Departed, where the dude gave Leonardo DiCaprio the wrong address. He numerically gave him the wrong address, but when the thugs and goons showed up that murdered that police officer, he ended up at the right address, which means he was lying. And I believe that they're lying.
They just showed up uninvited.
Okay. So you never told him that she was coming?
No.
But did you tell him somebody was coming?
Yes.
But did you tell him who was coming?
No.
No. So did you know exactly who was coming? You didn't know? Okay.
When she arrived, that's first thought I had in my head was, oh, so this was the someone, I guess, that was coming.
Okay. And sorry, just so I'm clear, I'm sorry I keep asking redundant questions, but so are you saying that
Notice how both of them keep looking everywhere except for the people who are talking to them.
the sister never had permission to come and get him?
Correct.
She just came and took him?
Yes.
Okay. And have you talked to her lately? So I think you just told me that.
No, I haven't spoken to him or to his family in a year and a half.
That is an arrestable offense. To Lee Hellinger and all my advocates out there, shout out to you, by the way. Let me ask y'all a question. She just said that she had not talked to his side of the family members, in a year and a half. Why in a year and a half, all of a sudden, it's okay, somebody's coming to come pick up my son? Does that make any sense at all? I'm gonna rewind it by a few seconds and let y'all hear it again. She said, I have not talked to his side of the family in a year and a half. But all of a sudden, there's somebody coming to pick up the kid. That don't make any sense. You can't be that level of dumb.
To come and get him?
Correct.
She just came and took him?
Yes.
Okay.
Right here, listen to this part. How long have you not talked to the side to the dad's side of the family? Here we go. Here it is.
And have you talked to her lately? So I think you just told me that.
No, I haven't spoken to him or to his family in a year and a half.
In a year and a half.
Her lately? So I think you just told me that.
No, I haven't spoken to him or to his family in a year and a half.
To him and his family in a year and a half. So that also means the dad hasn't seen his son in a year and a half, right?
Her lately? So I think you just told me that.
No, I haven't spoken to him or to his family in a year and a half. That was the first time that Sergio went to prison 3 years ago for abusing me while I was pregnant. And he got released last year around August, and he visited him 2 days while he was in town, and that was the only time Sergio's ever met and seen Amari.
Okay.
So his family, that was the first time they had seen him, was the one day of the visit. They haven't been to contact me, they haven't showed any emotion towards this. They haven't contacted me to get the story. They haven't contacted me to see where he is. They're not telling me anything. And then he sends a video into the newscasting, and he's smiling in the video. He's not showing any type of emotion, like as if he's really a concerned parent. It's like he just wants the publicity from it.
So, okay. So let's break this down for a moment. Let me make sure y'all can hear my volume. Okay, hold on real quick. Let me listen.
He's smiling in the video. He's not showing any type of emotion, like as if he's really.
Okay, and you know what? There should be hotel cameras. Y'all are right about that. Let's think about this for a moment. So she's claiming that the baby dad went to jail for abusing her. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, the baby dad did seem a little bit off in his interview. He seemed really weird. But it's funny how we keep wanting to make it seem like these mothers are the victims, right? But if we're going to believe what she said and that the dad went to jail, he just got out of jail, then that means she dated 2 thugs and put her children around 2 thugs. Am I right or am I wrong? 2 thugs. On top of that, what mother in her right mind that has any common sense, if she got abused by the baby dad, like she said, would turn around and let her son be around this man that shouldn't have been able to be around her legally because, number one, she was a victim in a case that he got arrested on and did jail time over, and number two, that would present a danger to that child, would it not? Even that doesn't make any sense. That's a bad judgment. That's a bad call. But on top of that, if you haven't talked to this man since you had this kid, why would you turn around and just let a random family member that you haven't been spending any time around, boyfriend didn't know anything about, allegedly, but somebody on his side was coming to pick up this kid? And as a mother, let me ask the mother, let me ask the women out there. I know we got some good women. If you're a good mother or a good woman, happy belated Mother's Day to all of you guys. Have a question. How many of you mothers out there would let your son, let your children be around anybody that you don't know? Anybody? Guys, we got 280 thumbs up. Can we get 400 thumbs up? For now, we need 20 to reach 300. And then we'll need another 100 to get to 400. So let's, for now, try to get 200 thumbs up. Help share their story. Real simple thing to do. For those who are donating, I will read them here in just a moment. I did see somebody said, Jay, can you check your PayPal? And I think that was Sherry in the chat. Sherry Kale. Thank you very much. Sherry, are you still in there? So if you're listening, I did get your PayPal, sweetheart. Thank you very much. To, let me see, to Natasha with an H. Thank you, Natasha, with an H. To Lisa with the P. Thank you on your Cash App. Let me see what my friend Elissa Deed sent me. Oh, goodness. Whoa. Oh, whoa. I see that you sent me the link to that girl's OnlyFans. Whoa. Let me say also thank you, Candy Girl said, why is she not saying who the someone that supposedly came by? Thank you. Why is she not saying who the someone that was supposed to come by? Sent a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Why would she not specify who was supposed to come by? Again, I think that should be an arrestable offense. That is a effing crime in itself. Do y'all want me to show this OnlyFans on the screen? I'm feeling froggy tonight. Do y'all want to see it? I'm not going to show her OnlyFans. I'm not going to do it. But she is charging, there's a discount right now, 35% off, $10. She has 9 posts. I'm going to tell y'all, it makes me interested to know what's actually on her OnlyFans. What is she selling if that's her boyfriend? Very interesting. I got to say, thank you very much, Elissa Deeds. Always really, really good. She's really good with figuring this stuff out. So I appreciate that. Y'all said y'all want to see the OnlyFans. Y'all stop it. Y'all so nasty. Stop it. That means I would have to pay for it. I'm not paying for it. I'm not supporting this lying mother. Y'all want me to support a lying mother financially? I don't think that's a good idea. We're being a little bit comical right now, but we'll get past that. We'll get past that. Let's get back serious. Let's watch the rest of this. Yeah, she got a promo hoe code. She got a promo hoe code on there right now.
What's the publicity from it?
So my understanding is he hasn't seen Amari much.
No.
That is what we were told.
I've been present.
You've been here, okay. So if he really hasn't been around, why do you think now all of a sudden he wanted to be around Amari?
We've always had, like I said earlier, I've always tried to be the cordial person, try to co-parent and whatnot. If he reaches out to me, I respond back. He's asked to see him a few times, but we haven't been able to make that arrangement work out yet. So he has asked to see him before. He has asked for him to come out there. He asked to have him for Christmas, and we had already booked plans before he had asked, so we weren't able to make that happen.
How does that even make any sense? And I'm glad they're zooming in on her mouth so y'all can hear what she said. Let me let y'all hear it again.
Person, try to co-parent and whatnot. If he reaches out to me, I respond back. He's asked to see him a few times, but we haven't been able to make that arrangement work out yet. So he has asked to see him before. He has asked for him to come out there. He asked to have him for Christmas, and we had already booked plans before he had asked, so we weren't able to make that happen.
So isn't that funny how the boyfriend don't want this child around? All the mom had to do was give up custody to the dad, and they could have went about their happy pimping whole life. End of story. The baby would have been safe with the dad and his family, and she could have went on and continued with her OnlyFans with her promo hoe code. Right? But no. It's funny how we'll continue to fight the biological fathers tooth and nail, but then let them stay around a man who literally looks like he beats the crap out of her, got her scared, and gave her child away to just anybody. This man was literally willing to give her child away to anybody and everybody, rather than the biological father. Isn't that something? Huh.
So he has tried to, but like I said, he doesn't put in any effort into trying to be a father in his life. So I'm not going to send my son to a complete stranger when, I've been through that, and I'm trying to give my son the best life that he can and not have to go through the things that I did in my childhood. So I'm telling him, be more involved, FaceTime more so he can recognize you, so he can get an idea of who you are. And he never wants to do that. He expects everyone to do what he says on his time.
Let me back up just for a second. So when they came over, you said you called her, right? And
the baby is 2 years old. I see you asking a question in the chat. I don't mind. The child is 2 years old.
A few times, but we haven't been able to make that arrangement work out yet. So he has asked to see him before. He has asked for him to come out there. He asked to have him for Christmas, and we had already booked plans before he had asked, so we weren't able to make that happen. So he has tried to, but like I said, he doesn't put in any effort into trying to be a father in his life. So I'm not going to send my son to a complete stranger when, I've been through that, and I'm trying to give my son the best life that he can and not have to go through the things that I did in my childhood. So I'm telling him, be more involved, FaceTime more so he can recognize you, so he can get an idea of who you are. And he never wants to do that. He expects everyone to do what he says on his time.
let me back up just for a second. So when they came over, you said you called her, right? And you didn't talk to him right away?
No, I was still asleep, so my phone, I didn't hear the first few calls until it was already too late.
And when was it? How long was it when she came and took Amari till you actually finally talked to her?
It wasn't that long. Probably like a minute.
Oh, it just quick
called
then.
Immediately.
Okay.
Until she answered the phone.
And then what did you do after she left with him?
I went running around the complex, just trying to search for any type of whereabouts or if I see anything.
So when you
So notice he did not give a description of the person who picked up the kid. The mom did not give a description of who she thought was supposed to pick up the kid. And there was no description of a vehicle. He gave us zero information about the person who picked up the kid. Not a license plate, not a car, not an SUV. Was she black? Was she white? Was they Mexican? Was they Chinese? What do they know? They're not giving us anything. That's where I would have stopped this whole thing. You would have given me something. If I interview you, you're going to give me something. Give me an age, give me a range, give me a hair color, what pants were they wearing, what shirt, what did their shirt say? Something. There's no way I would have let this ride.
Finally did get a hold of her. What did you tell her?
I asked her, was anybody supposed to come get him? Was that who she was talking about when she said someone's going to be bought?
And what did you say?
No.
I was in panic mode and I told him no.
Okay, so then so now you're thinking, okay, I was not supposed to probably do that, or whatever the case. And then so you started running around, looking around. Can you tell me more about that?
There's nothing. I was running around and found nothing, seen nothing. They were already gone.
He never handed the baby off to anybody. She took him.
So there was no reason to look. Now, when did you call police? Did you call,
Right after.
and what did they tell you?
They came out and it was a misunderstanding, said it was a civil matter and stopped the pursuit of a missing child until I arrived into town at 3 and the plane landed at 2:30, so I made it home around 3 and that's when they started the actual investigation.
So when did you leave to go to Colorado?
I left on Friday,
About what time?
about 4.
4. Did you fly or drive?
So,
Flew. And what time did the plane leave? Ish.
like around 3:50.
3:50. And what airline was it?
Frontier.
Frontier. Okay.
So now he's asking vital questions. Notice how he's asking, what time did your flight leave? What type of airplane it was? Why didn't you ask the boyfriend what type of car that they drove in? What did they pull up in? What did they look like? How tall were they? Were they big? Were they small? Were they fat? Were they short? Ugly? What skin color? Like, what did you tell them? Gray hair, no hair, had a wig on? You're not asking the vital questions. This is why I would be good in this type of industry. They're asking all the wrong questions. I'm not about to waste my time and sit there and let you talk to me for 20 minutes and you not give me exactly what I need.
And tell me again why you were in Colorado.
My mom got attacked by a dog, and the dog ate her ligaments, chewed her foot up, and she needed surgery she was in surgery for 2 hours and got over 60 stitches in her foot.
Okay.
And so she's crippled on a scooter, can't walk, can't do anything. So I went out there to help take care of her.
And so you got there on Friday, correct?
Correct.
At what time did you get in? I'm sorry.
I got in around like 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Okay. And then you stayed there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday's when I came back out here when I moved back.
And what time did the plane leave on Wednesday and get back here?
It left at 1:30 and it got here at 2:30.
2:30. Was it Frontier
Yes.
again? Okay. And I mean, what were you doing all this time after he told you this? I mean, were you just freaking out, or what were you?
Panic mode, freaking out, crying, screaming, just my baby.
When you're doing an interview like this, you never give somebody a feeling that they can use and they can say, yeah, I was freaking out. He said, were you freaking out? Yeah, I was freaking out. You can just simply say, how were you feeling? Let them give the information. This is how we got Keisha Williams arrested in Stockton, California. Y'all remember that? Billy Simone Williams. And shout out to the family out there. I still keep in contact with them. We still got a lot of case left to go in that situation to get a conviction. But you let them give you the information. That's why I didn't do a whole lot of talking in that interview. I just let her talk. But you don't volunteer feelings when you're interviewing somebody over a crime.
Baby's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm hundreds of miles away and I can't go out and look for him. So I'm rushing, driving to the airport. My mom lives in the country, so it's a 2.5-hour drive to the airport. So I'm speeding through all these little hick towns trying to hurry up to get to the airport because my baby's missing.
Yeah.
And I need to hurry up and get home.
Yeah. And what would you say to Amari? I mean, she's out there watching and it's TV, or the sister's watching, or whoever's. What would you say to him?
If anybody got him, bring him back.
If anybody got him, bring him back. boy, if I was interviewing this dude, I might have punched him right in the face. My temper, I don't know if y'all notice, I've been working on this for years. My temper is actually really bad. I've been working on it to try to be nice and calm. That's why whenever people watch me do interviews and they're like, wow, Jay, you were really calm. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be a better person. Try my best. I cannot stand for people to abuse children. That is my absolute biggest pet peeve. I can't stand for people to badmouth their children. Oh yeah, my child is bad. I can't stand that. I can't stand for people to spank their children. I can't stand for people to be nonchalant when you're talking about a child is missing. He asked you, well, what would you say? If anybody got him, bring him back. I guess. I would have punched that fool right in the mouth.
Watching or whoever's, what would you say to them?
Look at this. Look at how emotionless they are. Look at this.
If anybody got him, bring him back.
If anybody got him, bring him back.
If anybody know anything, let us know.
Mommy and Daddy loves him, and we hope that he's okay and playing.
I want y'all to think about this. Do y'all want to listen to the rest of this? Because I'm about to cut it off. It's too long. And I'm getting really upset. This is their plea to the world for help. This is how they responded. They said, hey, this baby is missing, this child, this defenseless, this child who can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves is at someone's mercy. Here's your opportunity. Plead your case to the world. And here's what they said.
Watching or whoever's, what would you say to them?
If anybody got him, bring him back. If anybody know anything, let us know.
Mommy and Daddy loves him, and we hope that he's okay and playing happy, and we're gonna bring you home soon.
That was their plea to the world. Man. We got people wanting to fight the police, but we won't have people trying to fight people like this who just don't give a crap about children, their own children. We got people that want to fight the president, but we won't have people that fight parents who abuse, misuse, lie, kill, and murder their children. Interesting. And he turned his whole entire back. Look at that.
I can't imagine.
He turned his whole back. He turned his entire back on the camera.
It just must be to not have the little boy. Anybody who has...
I would have punched him right in the back of his head. I would not have been able to hold myself. The camera zoomed into the back of his head.
As a child, it would just be going, what the heck?
It's
You know?
sickening. He's a little mini human. He's 2. He's defenseless and has no say so. He can't defend himself. He
The
can't.
cameraman zoomed into the back of his head. Come on.
Say I'm done here and I'm coming home. He can't walk. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
And to do this to a child is disgusting. When in reality, all you needed was communication.
And I know that a lot of people there's a lot of things being said. There's probably some rumors floating around. There's all probably kinds of crazy talk happening. People might start pointing the finger at your boyfriend or maybe even you. What would you say if that starts to happen? What would your response be to that?
It's inaccurate. It's a bunch of strangers just reading comments and not understanding the situation, not understanding the background, and just trying to put their 2 cents into it when it's all inaccurate. All this negative, hateful energy of pointing fingers at me and him can be put into trying to find our baby and bring him home, instead of causing more drama. We're hurting enough. We're all distraught over this. We're a complete mess, breaking down. And reading all these things and seeing all these hateful things is not helping the situation at all. If we knew where our son was, we would bring him home.
Is there anybody in the family pointing the finger at you at this point? Have you heard anybody talking bad about you?
His side of the family, of course. We've never had the best relationship, even when me and baby daddy was together. His family didn't like me because I was white and didn't approve of our relationship. And so...
How many of y'all believe that? They didn't like me because I was white. Maybe because you're stupid? Is that possible? I'm just asking, is that a possibility? Matter of fact, do y'all want me to keep playing this video or cut it off? She's still gonna sit there and talk while her boyfriend walks smooth off like a smooth criminal on some Michael Jackson stuff. Walk straight off the camera. Maybe they didn't like you because you were stupid. Is that not a possibility? Dummy. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that she's white. I think she pulled the race card. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Nobody dislikes a good white person, but we do hate trailer trash. We do hate white trash, right? We hate thugs, we hate criminals, we hate hoodlums, we hate gangbangers, we hate terrorists, right? We hate people who commit crimes. We hate robbers, we hate rapists, we hate pedophiles, we hate hebophiles. Huh? We hate murdering, lying mothers and boyfriends. I believe that the majority of people in our society in America got way more sense than that to just hate somebody just because of their skin color. Sorry, that just ain't reality. If people believe that, then they need to be slapped in the face. They're stupid. So y'all said go ahead and cut it off? Because there's a lot more. A hebophile. Ask Lee Hellinger. Let him know what that is in the chat. A hebophile. Because too many people confuse the word pedophile with hebophile. I think we learned something today. Look it up. Hebophile. Pedo, hebo. Hebophile. Phile. Hebophile. Almost the same way that you spell pedophile. Look it up and see what it means. Because too many times when somebody rapes or takes advantage of a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, somebody who's legally underage, they think that's a pedophile, and that's not a pedophile. A pedophile is someone who is prepubescent. A hebophile is the in-between. I think, matter of fact, I know Tommy was the first person I heard that conversation come from, so shout out to him. But there is a difference. Thank you. Jennifer spelled it correctly. Hebophile. That's why Lee was giving me a shout out when I used it in that show, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago. And she was like, damn, I didn't know Jay knew the difference, because most people don't actually know that there is a difference. But there's definitely a difference.
It's always been bad, people couldn't hurry up and answer. So, influence.
I didn't do it. I didn't take anybody. I had nothing to do with
I
that.
find it disgusting because Amari doesn't know anybody. You know, he's distraught. He's in a house full of people that he doesn't know who they are, and he doesn't know where his mommy and daddy are. And
so now people can't say that we don't learn something on my show. So we learned something here. Let me go ahead and cut this off. Matter of fact, I actually have another YouTube channel, and it's called the AFC Podcast Plus. The AFC Podcast Plus, and I posted that whole video on there with the better audio. So if you want to watch the rest of that, it's a whole nother 10 minutes. I can't stand to listen to that woman's voice any longer. let me go ahead and close out by saying this. To me, in my humble opinion, the boyfriend comes off like a pimp. Everything about his body language, when they say it's not on you, it's in you, his body language comes off pimpish. Her body language comes off as hoish. When I mean that, in a scared, in a following type of demeanor, eyes looking down, cowering towards authority, rather embracing it, following, even at your own detriment, even at your children's detriment, lying for your man, even though it might cost you as well, sacrificing your children, sacrificing your body. For what? Then she had the nerve to want to blame it on, it's because I'm white, that's why nobody likes me. No, people don't like you, ma'am, because you literally went to see your mother who had a little bite mark on her foot from a chihuahua. Mama got her mother, grown adult, who was a grandmother technically, her little chihuahua bit her on the side of the foot, so she had to emergency fly out to go see her grandmother without her son. Let me say that again. Without her son. Let me say that again. Left her son behind in the possession of her boyfriend to go take care of her mother, who was supposedly going to have surgery from a dog bite mark. Left her son, then claims that somebody contacted her boyfriend saying, hey, I'm the aunt, I'm coming to get this kid. And he said, all right, it's on and cracking. I'll get a bag prepared. So when they showed up, even though they didn't know the address, they didn't know where they lived, they just showed up. They had no idea exactly where they stayed. They just showed up. And they happened to show up at the right place. He said, use the auntie. All right, here you go. Here's the boy. Hold on. Let me go get a bag real quick. Let me fill up the bag. All right. Y'all have a nice day. And I guess he did this all with his eyes closed, because I guess he didn't see how tall this person was, how much this person weighed, what they had on. Did they have a graphic on their t-shirt? Like, were they black? Were they white? Were they old? Were they young? What car did they drive? What SUV did they drive? Did they drive up there in a tank? Did they come flying in like Superman? You didn't tell us anything. Then you allegedly called the mother and said, hey, the auntie said that she came to pick up the son. And then the mom was like, I didn't say nobody was supposed to come pick him up. Oh my gosh, I guess I better get on a plane and come out there. And he was like, I guess you need to come down here and come check this out. I was to call the police and we'll figure it out. So he said he hung up. He said shortly thereafter, he went around the neighborhood to go look for the boy. Well, if they drove in a car, why would you drive around? Why would you walk around? He said walk. Why would you walk around where you lived at to see if you could find what? Was it a car? Did they walk? You didn't specify. Too many holes in the story. If you ask me, both of them should be locked up for that interview alone. And for police not to be able to at least lock them up for that, for negligence, is beyond me. We are the AFC and we advocate for children first. And I believe, and we're just going to hope that this baby boy is still alive. I think he sold this kid for money. And I don't understand why people would turn around and try to murder this kid. So we're going to put a prayer hands up in the chat. And we're going to hope and pray that Amari Nicholson is safe and can come back, be delivered to his parents, and he can grow up and become something great. And we can move past this. Regardless of that, mom and boyfriend need jail time. They're going to definitely get hell time afterwards. That's for damn sure. Satan got a special place in hell for both of these two idiots. I'm DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC and we advocate for children first. We'll see you guys on the next update. where hopefully we'll be here to deliver you guys some positive news and a good update. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this story comes out of Kentucky, and I'm going to warn you guys because some of these details can be a little bit graphic. All I'm literally doing is just giving you details about these stories. As difficult as it might be for us to listen at what happens in these stories, I want y'all to remember that there is nothing that compares to what these children had to live through, what they were forced to go through, what they died through. I believe that we owe it to the honor and memory of these babies that I talk about in all of these stories for us to at least listen with an open mind and an open heart to their stories. A Kentucky mother, this woman that you see right there, allegedly admitted to shooting dead her 10-year-old son and stuffing his body in the trunk of her car after she tried to cut out this baby boy's tongue. And it just seems like these stories get more and more insane. And I'm like, there is nothing this child could have ever have done to deserve that. We have so many options in America, even including just giving up custody. We don't want to give up custody. Why would we want to murder our children? We could just give up the custody to the dad. We could give up our children to the system until we can get our minds right. If you want to claim mental illness or whatever the case is, we're no longer going to allow that to be an excuse because we have so many options for single parents in America to not do this. There is nothing this boy could have done to ever deserve that. Caitlin Renee Higgins, who was 28 years old, that's that boy's mama, which is this clown that y'all see on my screen right there. I'm gonna get a solo shot of her. This woman right here who literally looks like the epitome of a crackhead. She looks like a meth head. She looks like every head that you can think of except a sensible one. She's 28 years old and was arrested on Tuesday in Louisville and charged with the murder of her son, Kian Higgins. That beautiful baby boy that y'all see right here looks like a great kid and could have grown up to become something great. This boy, if I'm not mistaken, was 10 years old. Kian Higgins Jr. Now, officers with the Louisville Metro Police Department were dispatched to Higgins' home after receiving a call from a neighbor who said she saw the mother with a gun and the boy, who appeared to be lifeless, wrapped in a blanket, according to an arrest report. In the AFC, we call that hashtag see something, say something. So a neighbor saw something and at least reported it to get this process started, okay? Even though it was a little bit too late, but I'm thankful for the neighbor that saw something and said something. Now, when the police got there at about 9:30 p.m., they found the mother sitting on the porch of her home on Algonquin Parkway and noticed blood on the steps. Believing somebody was in immediate danger, they opened the trunk of Higgins' car, and that's where they found this boy's body. The mother later confessed. I'm going to repeat that. She confessed. To everybody that thinks I'm too hard on criminals, how many of you guys think that I'm too mean to people who hurt children, murder and abuse children, and try to cut out the tongue of children? How many of y'all who are watching my video right now, and if you're watching, please click the thumbs up, share the stream, let more people know that we're live talking about this story. Do y'all think I was too mean about the way that I described her? Like she looks like a crackhead? I want y'all to think about what she did. She murdered her son, shot her son and tried to cut his tongue out and threw him in the back of a car. Y'all think I'm too mean to these thugs, to these criminals, to these gangbangers, to these people out trying to get revenge on the other parent? I'm too mean? Because that's what people are saying in the comment section. They try to tell me, You're always bashing people. Well, all I talk about is criminals and criminal behavior. So one would have to ask, what is wrong with people? What's wrong with people who can't see this as a problem, call it out, and step on the necks of these people proverbially? We ought to be able to proverbially, if that's even a word, I hope it's a word, to step on their necks and and we need to shun this type of activity. Because, guys, I have more stories than I can even keep up with. There are way too many Caitlin Higgins. Y'all want to know? I probably got about, I'd say 80 stories. 80 stories just like Caitlin Higgins in my email right now that I haven't even done stories on. Just like her. Let me give y'all some more details about her, and y'all tell me if I'm being too mean. She says she confessed to shooting her son with a gun after she tried to cut out his tongue. She was arraigned on charges of murder stemming from domestic violence and tampering with evidence on Thursday, according to the news. The newspaper said the mother got teary-eyed. She started crying. Ain't that some shit? Let me see. Get her face. They said she started crying. She got teary-eyed in court as she claimed she had not been allowed to call anybody from jail. She cried because she couldn't make a phone call, but she didn't feel any remorse for murdering her son. Isn't that something? That's cold-hearted. So I don't even know where my child's being buried or anything, she told Jefferson County District Judge Jennifer Wilcox, who doubled her bond from $250,000 to $500,000, citing the violent nature of the alleged crime. So shout out to Judge Wilcox. I'm glad they doubled her bond. Good. They should have quadrupled her bond. Give her a cool $1 million. She is due back in court. Actually, she was due back in court May 3rd, which was 7 days ago. But police have not revealed a motive, but they said she caused other injuries to Kiyan before shooting him, which include trying to cut out his tongue. Maya Lancaster, who was Kiyan's babysitter, who will show a video of her here in a moment, told the news that she once saw the boy, who she affectionately called KJ, which is, let me see, it just scrolled across here. Right there. Let me go back. That's what they called him, KJ. She saw him with a black eye and scratches on his face and neck. Here's my problem with that woman. She said she did not, N-O-T, she did not report it to Child Protective Services at the time because she feared retaliation from the mom, who she knew carries a weapon. She says she didn't tell on the mom because she was scared of the mom. Isn't that something? I'm going to show y'all exactly who I'm talking about, and I'm going to just let the video speak for itself. Lancaster now regrets that decision, and I think that she should be in prison for that. She should at least get 5 years in prison for that. Do y'all agree? Because she saw something and didn't say anything. This should have never have happened, calling the situation unfair. She had plenty of people, if she was struggling, to drop him off, Lancaster said of Kiyan, who she described as a smart and beautiful child who liked to stay in his room and play games. We would have cared for him. One call is all it would have taken, she said. Well, she could have called CPS. It would have taken one anonymous call. Huh? When she heard the news of the boy's death, the babysitter rushed over to the house to check on Higgins' other son, who was a 2-year-old. Wow. So this chick had 2 kids. So for those of y'all who have watched my show long enough, what does that mean? What does that mean when an individual, a deranged individual like this woman, murders one kid in this heinous way and doesn't do it to the other kid? What does that mean? Different parents. Usually that's what that means. 2 different parents. She probably did this to hurt the biological father of 10-year-old Kion. 2 baby daddies, thank you. That's usually what it means. It's not all, it's just usually what it means. That 2-year-old is now safe in the care of relatives, so that's good. Higgins' neighbor told Taylor Alexandra she heard gunshots on Tuesday night while she was on the phone with a friend. The guy across the street told my boyfriend, "Hey, you know I've seen her carry a body to the car. It was a little body," Alexandra said. The outlet said neighbors had previously called animal services about Higgins allegedly abusing her 2 dogs. Records show Higgins had received 3 citations for animal neglect in the past. But she was allowed to keep animals. If she abused animals, what do you think she would have did to her kids? No accountability. I already thought something was suspicious going on in the house due to the animal abuse, which is what I thought. The news said Higgins did not have a criminal record and had only received a few citations over the years for traffic-related violations and for not having her dogs properly licensed. In 2014, she filed a domestic violence protection order against a man in 2014, the newspaper reported, and had a divorce case in Jefferson County Family Court involving another man that began last December. So let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and I'll let you listen to the news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe its copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, here are the news videos. Let's talk about this.
Now to a heartbreaking story out of the Taylorberry neighborhood. We first showed you the memorial on Wednesday, a few stuffed animals honoring the life of a 10-year-old boy who died from gun violence. As we've learned more about what happened, that memorial has grown. And Tom Lally has been reporting on the developments of this case all week long. Tom, what does that memorial look like tonight?
Shay, I want to show you what it looks like now. The steps are filled, stuffed, if you will, with animals, candles, and photos of a kid named KJ.
KJ was funny. KJ was hilarious.
And now KJ is gone. Old family friends and even strangers gathering here on Algonquin Parkway.
He looked like the sweetest little boy, and it doesn't matter if I knew him or not, just, it shouldn't have happened.
Hey, babies.
Neighbors, parents, bringing children and candles to pay respect.
Hold it up to show some love for KJ.
KJ, we love you.
Lighting a new path to hope for the community.
You gotta sit right here and let it burn.
These young.
I'm thankful that they use candles. Y'all see how that yard is uncut, unkept? That yard looks like it hasn't been cut probably in 3 or 4 years. I used to cut grass in my youth a lot for money, to earn money. I can tell that grass looked like it's never been cut. That is terrible. That house looks real unkept. Matter of fact, I'll go a step further. If you don't cut your grass, and your grass is 3, 4, 5, 6 feet tall, and you have children, you deserve to be arrested for that alone. Because I can guarantee you, if your landscaping isn't taken care of, then your inside of your house is probably not taken care of, meaning the children probably are in danger. I'm talking about yellow flags and red flags. To me, that is a huge yellow flag when somebody's house and their lawn looks like absolute dog crap. No pun intended.
Single mothers meeting for the
Y'all watch this video. Y'all gonna see how high that grass is.
first time right here at KJ's.
This just happened like a week or two ago, but that grass looked like it's been growing for 3 or 4 years.
Memorial.
Crying and, you know, just asking ourselves, like, why can't it be this easy?
Easy to lean on neighbors in a time of stress and sorrow. A support these mothers say is missing from the online conversation.
So y'all can see my message is getting out. No more balloons. Candlelit vigils. Light some candles. Blow some balloons. Bring animals, because you can clean that up pretty easily. Get y'all some of those Money House Blessing dollar store candles. Light those. Get some t-shirts made.
The nerve of people to go on social media and to speak on KJ, you know, the love that's pouring out for KJ, but in the same sentence, y'all speaking hatred out of your heart for Kat.
Kat, or Caitlin Higgins.
I am floored. I am floored. Did y'all hear what I just heard? Let me let y'all, I'm gonna rewind this and let y'all hear this. Wow. This is why some people just should not do interviews. Don't get on camera. Oh my goodness. Listen to what and it happened to be a sister. But yet the world is making us look bad when all they do is just play our words back. All they're doing is just showing the world what we said. Listen to what she just said. And she clearly has a kid. I can guarantee you she's not married. She don't have a husband.
And to speak on KJ, you know, the love that's pouring out for KJ, but in the same sentence, y'all speaking hatred out of your heart for Kat.
You're speaking. So I want y'all to understand. I literally just gave you a perfect example. Let me show y'all something. Y'all remember how I told y'all that people attack me in my emails in the comment section. They hit me up on Instagram and Facebook and send me death threats because they say that I am bashing people like her. This woman took a gun and shot a 10-year-old. In no shape, form, or fashion am I advocating violence against children, because I'm not. We're not talking about her fighting a child physically. She's bigger than her kid. Took a gun. This is just as stupid as that dude who shot that little girl. I'll have to pull that story up again. Who took a gun and shot that 2-year-old girl, shot that girl in the chest. I think it was like a 9-year-old girl in the chest, twice with a gun because the toilet in the house overflowed. Then she cut out his tongue. These are the people that say I'm bashing her. She is a demon. Why would I not bash a crackhead, meth head, funny looking demon? She's not a mother. She's not even human. She literally is Satan's spawn. She is the devil's child. She is not of Jesus. She is not of God. God didn't give her life. Satan did. Listen at this again.
Hey, you know, the love that's pouring out for KJ, but in the same sentence, y'all speaking hatred out of your heart for Kat. Hey, you know, the love that's pouring out for KJ, but in the same sentence, y'all speaking hatred out of your heart for Kat. And to speak on KJ, you know, the love that's pouring out for KJ, but in the same sentence, y'all speaking hatred out of your heart for Kat.
I showed this and I rewinded it just so y'all know, and I want y'all to bookmark this part. This is the most important portion of this video. I want y'all to bookmark that she said it, and I want y'all to know these are the type of people who continue to attack me, that have that mindset. She should not be a mother. That's the type of message that she's sending to her kids. You bashing the mama. So what are you telling me? The mother can do no wrong? She's infallible? So ask yourself, if this mother could shoot her child in the chest twice, cut out his tongue, and stuff him in the back of a car like he was trash, and then get mad because the police didn't let her make a phone call, and act that callous, then what can the mother do that we can actually shun? What can we do to actually shame the mother? What can she actually do that is wrong in your eyes, ma'am? Maybe we should investigate yo ass. What?
Kat, or Caitlin Higgins, was KJ's mother and is charged with his murder. A police report saying she admitted to trying to cut out her son's tongue, shooting him, and leaving him in the trunk of her car.
Don't put them two in the same sentence. You separate them. If you're gonna show love to KJ, drop a teddy bear. Ride past, blow your horn. Shout out, we love you, KJ.
Nichelle Walker knew Caitlin years ago and said she hopes she gets the help she needs. For now, these mothers will hold their own children tight.
As soon as I got off work, I went straight.
And she got 2 kids. Oh, and no man. Man, oh my goodness. This is so typical. This is so indicative. Y'all are literally looking at 80% of our children being born outside of wedlock. And I'm pretty sure it's probably closer to about 85%. Look at this. Those kids are hers, I'm assuming.
Hold their own children.
80% of children born outside of wedlock. What does that have to do with this story? We're showing the disregard for children. It's simple. If you don't get it, then we're just going to move past you if you're so dense mentally that you can't grasp that concept. Simple.
Tight.
As soon as I got off work, I went straight to them and hugged them tightly, and then we came here and dropped off gifts and candles and everything for KJ.
Caitlin Higgins is currently being held on a $500,000 bond at the Louisville Metro Corrections. She has a preliminary hearing scheduled for 1 week from Monday. Live for the Night Team, I'm Tom Lally.
I felt like I wish I could have saved the child. I'm like, I know I heard those shots. Like, was there something I could have done?
Taylor Alexandra lives nearby and heard gunshots Tuesday night near the home on Algonquin Parkway. She says she never could have imagined what police say happened at this home.
The guy across the street told my boyfriend, he was like, hey, you know, I seen her carry a body to the car.
What is that shit on her head? She looks ridiculous. She literally looks like she's about to go walk somebody's city block. Like she about to put on that skirt and go to work. She about to get on the chase for a big face. Them big, long nails. My goodness, look at this. They just want some this is advertisement for these chicks OnlyFans. That's what this is. They don't really give a crap about these kids. They want to advertise their OnlyFans.
He told my boyfriend, he was like, hey, you know, I seen her carry a body to the car. And it was a little body.
According to an arrest report, a neighbor called police to report a woman with a gun on the porch and says he saw the boy wrapped in a blanket. When officers arrived Tuesday night, they found blood on the porch. That's when they opened the trunk of a car and discovered the boy's body. Police say 28-year-old Caitlin Higgins admitted to shooting her son.
I already thought something suspicious was going on with this house due to the animal abuse.
Higgins has no criminal history, but records show she has received at least 3 citations from Metro Animal Services for dog neglect. Maya Lancaster, who babysat both of Higgins' sons, believes the abuse went beyond the animals.
Listen at the babysitter. Here's the person I believe needs to be arrested. Also, listen at the babysitter who saw something and said nothing. Looking in that nasty house. Listen at this.
He had came once to the house with a black eye. He had came to the house once again with scratches on his face and neck.
Lancaster's.
This is the babysitter who was too scared to call in anonymously. I was scared. I was scared. I want y'all to listen to what I got to say. I was scared. She had a gun. I was scared. Even though the baby boy is 10 years old, what is he supposed to do? You can't make a phone call. You can't call the police, which is the largest group of people in America that can converge on an issue for you. Huh? I was scared.
He had came once to the house with a black eye. He had came to the house once again with scratches on his face and neck.
Maya Lancaster. I was scared, y'all.
Lancaster says she did not contact Child Services, fearing retaliation by Higgins.
Let's hear that again. Why didn't she call Child Protective Services?
The house with a black eye. He had came to the house once again with scratch.
Don't feel bad for her. She saw something, she saw the abuse, and didn't say anything. She didn't say black guy, she said black eye, eyeball, black eye. Black eye and scratches. Not black guy, black eye.
On his face and neck.
Lancaster says she did not contact Child Services, fearing retaliation by Higgins, who she knew carried a weapon. It's a decision she now regrets.
I didn't step up. I didn't do the right thing. I didn't listen.
Let me get y'all to understand something. Let me get y'all to understand something very clearly. There's a difference between a moral code and a legal code. Does everybody understand the difference? Moral code and legal code. You're not going to go to any other YouTube channels and hear this. Let me explain the difference. Moral, legal. Morally, she's too old to be scared, y'all. She's too old to be scared, y'all. The woman looked like she's 65. She looks like she's damn near about to cross over the threshold of senior citizen and be able to get some Medicaid. Senior citizen status, and you scared, y'all. Look, here's what I'm talking about being an advocate for children. You cannot be afraid to put your life on the line for children, and she had a direct connection to that child because she babysat that child. She knew something was wrong and didn't say nothing because you was scared that she was going to come kill you. What are you scared of? We're not talking about some big old huge thug criminal. They got a whole gang of people. You had one person. She looks like a frail little white girl. And you're white, ma'am. You're white. Why are you scared of a chick that could have been your daughter? You're not going to fight her back. What are you scared of? What do you need to live your life that much longer for? You scared to put your life on the line? Here's what I'm talking about. Moral and legal. Morally, us as adults are to be living our lives for the legacy of our children. And when I say our children, we're talking about the advocates for children. I will fight for any child and every child. When you put this on your chest, that means you fight for all children, not just yours. You see something happen to a child and you can't make a phone call. Y'all remember that boy that was shot in the face and those people just sat around and just looked and gave him a bottle of water and watched him almost die on the ground before finally calling the police? No concern for the children. Why are we so consumed in our own lives that we won't defend we want our troops to go out and go defend our country, but we won't even defend our children. Heller. Woo. Is it getting a little hot in here, y'all? We won't even say thank you to our troops who go out every day and put their life on the line to defend our country, but we won't even defend the children that we're babysitting. Ain't that a bitch? Because you thought something might happen. Well, ma'am, if you that goddamn scared, then maybe you should have got your weapon. You live in Kentucky. Let me look up the laws for Kentucky real quick. Let me see the laws of reciprocity in Kentucky. Gun laws. Let's look it up. Let's see what we got here. Well, this is back in 2006. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it says Kentucky's concealed weapons laws allow someone to carry a gun in the car, either in the glove compartment, regularly installed in a motor vehicle by its manufacturer, on the seat, or in the trunk. But y'all just saw the video of that woman carrying hers openly. Let me back that up because I want y'all to see that. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Pastor who babysat, according to an arrest report.
This woman right there. Let me see if I can back it up so you can see it.
Hey, you know, the love that's pouring out for KJ, but in the same sentence, y'all speaking hatred out of y'all heart.
Because this is the same area.
For Kat.
Kat, or Caitlin Higgins, was KJ's mother and is charged with his murder. A police report saying she admitted to trying to cut out her son's tongue, shooting him, and leaving him in the trunk of her car.
Don't put them two in the same sentence. You separate them. If you're gonna show love to KJ, drop a teddy bear. Ride past, blow your horn. Shout out, we love you, KJ.
Nichelle Walker.
Right there. That woman. That's open carry.
Knew Caitlin years ago.
Y'all see that gun on her? She's open carrying. She's open carrying. So there must be something legal about her having her gun on her, because I'm assuming that's a citizen and not law enforcement. That's why I'm bringing that up. So if that woman can have her gun, then this woman can have her gun. Y'all get my point? I literally just proved it because they live in the same area. So if that other woman was illegal, then she needs to be arrested. If she's legal, then this woman could have gotten legal and not been so scared, y'all. Not so scared.
I didn't step up. I didn't do the right thing. I didn't listen. I should have said something.
And like Lancaster, many are still trying to understand why this happened.
But I still want to see the good in her.
And I'm going to read this from the NRA website. Gun laws in Kentucky. Possession. No state permit is required to possess a rifle, shotgun, or handgun. And Lee said open carry, as long as it's not concealed, it's legal in Kentucky. So there you go. She could own a handgun. She could have carried a handgun. Thank you for clarifying that. And that's why I love Lee, and that's why I love our channel members. But I just looked it up on the NRA website. At NRA, what is that? NRAILA.org. Gun laws, state gun laws, Kentucky. No state permit is required to possess a rifle, shotgun, or handgun. So there you go.
And I hate myself for that because I know that she was struggling, and I know it can be overwhelming.
Now, the babysitter tells me the 10-year-old boy loved anime and playing video games. And as you can see, neighbors have set up a small memorial for the 10-year-old boy in his honor. Reporting live in Louisville, Alexis Matthews, WOKY.
The coroner has identified a 10-year-old boy whose mother is accused of killing him. 28-year-old Caitlin Higgins is charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Police say she admitted shooting her son, Keon Higgins, Tuesday, then stuffing his body in the trunk of her car. Officers went to her house on Algonquin Parkway after someone reported seeing Higgins on the porch with a gun and the boy's body wrapped in a blanket. Higgins' bond is now set at $500,000. She'll be back in court the first week of May.
Yeah, this is a very disturbing story out of Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville police now saying the body of a 10-year-old boy was found in the trunk of his mother's vehicle. This was at a home on Algonquin Parkway after someone reported seeing a woman on the porch of the home with a gun and a deceased child wrapped in a blanket. Take a look. This is a look at the booking photo for Caitlin Higgins, provided by our sister station there in Louisville. The 28-year-old is charged with murder and evidence tampering. While few other details have been released, police do say Higgins admitted to trying to cut out her son's tongue, then shooting him to death and putting him in the trunk of her car. As more information does come in on this very disturbing story, we'll bring that to you on air and online at WKRN.com.
Now, according to an arrest citation, Caitlin Higgins admitted that she shot her 10-year-old son after trying to cut out his tongue. Police found the child dead in the trunk last night after responding to a welfare check after a caller said they saw Higgins with a gun and a boy wrapped in a blanket. Higgins has been charged with murder as well as tampering with physical evidence. A 28-year-old mother is charged with the murder of her son. Police say Caitlin Higgins admitted to shooting her 10-year-old and trying to cut out his tongue. As Tom Lally reports, it's been a difficult day for the Taylorberry neighborhood.
It was a heartbreaking moment when that 10-year-old's babysitter showed up here this afternoon. She says KJ was a good kid, and she can't imagine what would have led to this shooting.
I've never had an issue with KJ ever. He was a sweet, loving child. He was such a good boy.
I heard the gunshots last night.
Neighbors spent the night trying to put together what happened. This arrest report paints that picture, saying a neighbor spot.
You said without a license, that's why there are a lot more shootings. That is incorrect. That's statistically incorrect. We're talking about the difference between law-abiding citizens and non-law-abiding citizens. The reason why there are more shootings is because you have criminals who actually have a criminal record who couldn't apply for a gun license, that have gun licenses illegally on the black market, that are shooting and killing people. It's not the ones who are following the law. That's the difference.
Spotted Higgins with a gun and a child wrapped in a blanket.
We don't have a large problem of people that have their license who are legal. Just like me. I got my license in 2 different states. I'm not going around shooting people. You don't have people like me that are doing the hard work of going to the range, getting their training, getting their license, that actually carry the thing with pride and responsibility, that are going out and just shooting, killing people, breaking the law. That's not the way that works. I told y'all it's the criminals. It's not gun violence. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. It's not gun violence. It is thugs with guns. Take out the thugs with guns and we don't even have this argument. It's a completely different conversation.
Police arrived to find her sitting on these steps that now hold memories of her son, who authorities found dead in the trunk of her car. Higgins later admitting to police she shot him and tried to cut out his tongue.
This is so unfair. This is so unfair. Yeah, I mean, she had plenty of people to, if she was struggling, to drop him off, and we would have cared for him.
Maya Lancaster worried for KJ's 2-year-old brother, who police tell us is safe and with relatives.
It's just heartbreaking.
Less than a block away, Victoria Carter cares for her children and wonders how a mother could do this.
I'm sorry.
Why would she be on camera showing her 3 children and no man? Oh. And she just proved the statistic. Again, bunch of kids, no man, no husband. Why did you have to get on camera? And why did you bring them inside your house, ma'am? Lord have mercy. And I want y'all to understand, this is not the media doing this. These people are voluntarily getting on camera. Lisa Jackson said your comment is irrelevant. Why is it relevant? Lisa, do you want to call in? Does anybody else want to call in? I know Leah's going to call in. Does anybody else want to call in? I'll let y'all call in, but guys, I got to get off of here, man. I've been on here for too long already. It's almost 2 o'clock here in Texas, and I still got one more story to tell.
Please tell us is safe and with relatives.
It's just heartbreaking.
Why did she get on camera and bring them inside her house? This is ridiculous.
Then a block away, Victoria Carter cares for her children and wonders how...
Victoria Carter cares for her children with no man. Her children. They didn't say her and her husband. They said her children, plural, and you see at least 3 of them.
Mother could do this.
I'm sorry to that boy. It's like you can't even say sorry to the mother because she's the one that did it.
And they're sitting there in their Pampers. Oh, Jesus, no. They not even dressed. Why are you doing this? They ain't got no, these kids ain't got no clothes on.
Victoria Carter.
She might be a widow. She might be a widow. What do statistics tell you about that, though? We got to be sensible. We got to be sensible. I'm not just being disparaging for no reason, guys. We have to be careful about us just throwing stuff out there. She might be a widow. What do statistics tell us about our people bringing children into this world? What is the likelihood that our black women are getting married? What is the likelihood that she was married and widowed? What's the likelihood when 80% of our children are born outside of wedlock and almost 90% are going to go unmarried? What's the likelihood that she would have been one of the rare ones that actually got married? What's the likelihood? Why can I talk about this? Because she decided to jump her happy ass up here and do an interview, so I get to talk about whatever I see. Whatever she's showing me, I get to talk about it.
Cares for her children.
You said your disabled daughter likes to take off her clothes and stay in a diaper. Well, if that's the case, then are you going to do an interview with her on camera? You going to show the insides of your house? We don't have to be on camera if that's the case. That's voluntary. I don't understand. I don't know, Keyshawn. I don't know why people are arguing with me on this stuff. I don't know. It's depressing. When I have facts, things that you can look up. 80 to 90% of our women are going unmarried, but we're saying maybe she was one of the rare ones.
And wonders how a mother could do this.
I'm sorry to that boy. It's like you can't even say sorry to the mother because she's the one that did it. And that's messed up.
It was just so close to home, and it just made me feel like, you know, that could have happened, you know, to any of us.
Taylor Alexandra says her mother has called the police on this family before for how Higgins treated her 2 dogs.
We don't understand why a dog would have to be out there doing ice storms and stuff. We thought that was unusual.
One of those dogs was still in the house Wednesday. Higgins
Where's
has
animal control? Nobody, they know now nobody's living in the house. So they came and got the dead kid, arrested the mom, and left the dogs in. Man, this whole story is stupid.
arraignment scheduled for 9 tomorrow morning. For WHAS, I'm Tom Lowry.
And guys, we still got one more story to tell. So before I open up the lines, let me give my closing thoughts about this story. Because I'm assuming, don't block or time out anybody. I'm going to let all of y'all call in. I'm going to roll with the fact that we've had a lot of support on the channel. We still got people donating right now. So I'm going to roll with that, and I'm going to say thank you to those who were able to donate. If you're not able to donate, cool, you don't have to. But because we've had enough support from our amazing people and family in the AFC, I'm going to allow everybody that wants to call in that has a dispute to call in. We're going to do it just like my brother Tommy does. If you have a dispute, call in. If you're going to agree with what I'm saying, I'm going to politely ask you to just decline to call in this time. Because it's too late at night and we have to debate some relevant points. So let me give my closing thoughts. I think it's quite ridiculous the fact that, number one, you had that mother show up on camera and said that this woman who murdered her son in this heinous way should be defended. I'm floored. I've seen people say it to me in the comment section, but then to see somebody actually say it on video in public and show their face, it's quite ridiculous. Then you had the babysitter who literally got on camera and admitted to seeing something that was wrong and didn't report it. When I talk about moral and legal, morally, that woman should have defended that child with her life. Legally, if you see a crime and don't report it, there are actually states that you can actually get arrested and do jail time for. That's the difference between moral and legal. Moral, you should defend children with your life. Legally, if you see something happen to a child and you don't say shit, then you could actually get arrested for it. Put those two things together and common sense should click in, and you should realize that you can't ignore this. Know something's wrong and you just didn't say anything. For that reason, everybody involved in that needs to be arrested. For that little boy, for what he had to suffer through at the hands of his mom, look at how unkept that house is. Look how nasty that is. I think if your yard and your house looks that crappy, CPS ought to automatically be able to come in and investigate you because something's wrong. To KJ, poor KJ, young Prince, RIP, he didn't deserve that. For the 2-year-old sibling that he has, look at that. Beautiful baby boy. To his sibling, I hope that sibling is protected and somebody advocates for that sibling and that sibling can grow up and become something great. So we'll put a prayer hands up in the chat for that. I hope you guys listen with an open mind and an open heart. And I hope our focus is on the advocates for children. Advocate for children first. And if I don't see it, I'm going to call it out every single time as I see fit. Thank you guys so much for listening. Ladies and gentlemen, with this particular story, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to think about this story. When I saw it, it made my eyes twitch. I'm like, is there enough information to really talk about here? And I'll tell you, I think it's just enough for us to talk about and for us to make a very valid point about what's going on in this sex trade world, in this world of pedophiles and hebophiles. And if you don't know what a hebephile is, look it up. It's in the realm of a pedophile, but it's different. It's not the exact same thing, but it is a real word. Make sure you guys look that up, okay? We want to talk about how the police are handling business in a place called Chicago. Yet again, we're not going to talk about all the many murders that are going on, because we could do that all day long, ad nauseum, There is no end to that, apparently. We can talk about that every single day, every single stream. Let's switch gears into the sex trade. This story involves the police, and you might be wondering, why does this involve the police? Because what people in that area are claiming is they're saying that the police are dragging their feet on a case where a girl was raped and they allowed these people that did it to stay on the streets. You guys also know that Illinois, Chicago is a place where the gun laws against law-abiding citizens are very strict. We are really, really hard on people that follow the law, but it don't seem like they're as hard on defunding thugs. Yes. Getting this thing under control. Huh? It seems like every regime that comes in does nothing different. You still have the same prevalent issues. It's just my opinion. Chicago's top cop now answering to delays by the police in a horrendous child sexual abuse case that was first exposed by the CBS News investigators. So I want to give them a shout out. Otherwise, you might not have heard about this story because this actually happened last November, if I'm not mistaken. We are now in the second week of May. Think about that for a moment. CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey reports on what Superintendent David Brown said about the lag time in this investigation. There are two men, and I'm going to show y'all them on the screen. One of them is this individual who is a registered sex offender. Yes? Are you guys surprised that this individual who is a registered sex offender is now involved in another sex offense? The second person out of many is this individual who I couldn't even find a picture of, and just luckily enough, the news video had a picture of him and I had to screenshot that just to get a picture to show you guys who I'm even talking about. Both of these men were identified as suspects months ago. But these arrests did not come until after CBS 2 investigators exposed the story, just like what we do. We get a fire under people's asses. Superintendent Brown told they're investigating how and why the ball was dropped. Why they didn't protect this child. Two men are now behind bars facing charges that they sexually abused a 10-year-old girl who's going to remain nameless and faceless because we're not going to put this person at any more risk. In the case of 43-year-old Joseph Brenner, who is this guy, that's 43-year-old Joseph Brenner. He was arrested this week and he's accused of taking this 10-year-old girl to this Southside motel and raping her on more than one occasion. At one point, dressing her up to look older and trafficking her to other men. So he was pimping her. During that same period, this individual that you see on my screen, let me see if I can get a better picture of him right here. 37-year-old Samuel Brown was accused of meeting the girl on a dating app and sexually assaulting her in a garage. But I want you guys to know that he is a registered sex offender, and there were actually many pictures of this man. This man is a career criminal. Let me show you all his mug shots, if I can. Let me see if I can get this up here real quick. Dating all the way back to 2004. 2004. About 17 years back. 2004, mugshot. 2017, mugshot. 2019, mugshot. 2020, mugshot. You guys get my point? career criminal. This is who's on the loose. This is why the police were being scrutinized. Police had DNA evidence linking Samuel Brown to the rape since November, but he was not arrested until March after their story started raising questions. CBS 2 asked Superintendent Brown why. Told you guys, just like Tommy, shout out to Tommy, the most pertinent question is why. The most important question is why. Ask why. They said, we are currently having an administrative investigation to determine if there are any officers that need to be held accountable. We will hold officers accountable for not doing their job fully. Brown did not comment on specifics about the lag in this investigation or lags, but he said CPD immediately reassigned the case to a new detective following questions raised by our report in February. That's according to the news report. Police reports obtained by the CBS 2 investigators identified 5 possible suspects. Yes, you heard that right. 7 months. 5 suspects. CPD said a third suspect with ties to this victim was released without charging, but the investigation is ongoing. So they put him right back out on the streets to do it all over again. And we're talking about our children. We'll talk about the parents here in a moment. I'll get to that. Y'all bear with me. CBS 2 also asked Brown about the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, because y'all know I do not like her at all. I have never liked any mayor out of Chicago, it's including her. She be about the same. Just like Rahm Emanuel, I see them as the same. She released a statement and said, we must also stop the adultification of black girls who too often are blamed when they should be treated as victims, particularly in cases of sexual abuse. We're going to talk about that ill-qualified statement that she just made. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Brown didn't quite answer. I will refer you to my first answer. We're hoping any and all officers accountable who didn't do their job, and we are going to continue to pursue justice for this 10-year-old girl. CPD said it's continuing to revise its policies, procedures, and training to prevent any unnecessary investigation delays from happening in the future. Now let's go back to this statement that she made. The adultification of black girls. Is that really what we're doing? Is that really what we're doing? The adultification. Who's responsible for that? Shouldn't you hold the parents responsible? Lori Lightfoot? So are you going to put this off on society? You're going to put this off on who? The training starts at home. The protection starts at home. But where do these so-called adultified black girls reside? Do they reside in a nuclear family? Huh? Do they reside with their mother and father who are husband and wife? Huh? Are they protected by their dads? Are they learning lessons from their fathers? Or are they only learning from one side of their DNA? Usually the biological mother, who is usually the only person who is teaching and responsible for these children. They're the ones who are learning the lessons. So if you ask yourself, who is adultifying them, even if that's even a word, I don't even know if that's a word, who would be held responsible? So it seems like, if we're going to believe what she says, it seems like she's blaming the parent who's there, which would be the mothers in the black community. That would be our sisters. See how that works? 80% likelihood that they're only getting the training from one side. You said they're blaming when they should be treated as victims. It seems that the majority of black people are treated as victims. I don't think victimhood mentality is a problem for black folks. That's my personal opinion. We always are in the media as victims, are we not? We're victims of white supremacy. We're victims of racism. We're victims of our hair. We're victims of our sexuality. We're victims of pretty much everything, right? We're victims of not being able to get jobs. We're victims of not being able to get housing in certain areas. We're victims of they looked at me wrong. We're victims of being judged. We're perpetual victims. So what she said is completely irrelevant and avoids the real problem. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's dig in. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Y'all know how easy it is to vote for somebody that's actually worth something as your mayor, but people talk about you shouldn't vote. I guess that's a victimhood mentality too. Talk about there's discrimination in voting when all you got to do is get out in your cities, in your states, in your counties, and get out and vote. But you won't do that. The voting is rigged.
We begin tonight with the CBS 2 investigators exclusive.
Chicago police have launched an internal investigation admitting they dropped the ball in the case of a 10-year-old girl, a little girl targeted in a string of sexual assaults that ended at this Southside motel last fall. Officials finally arrested one of the suspects Friday. But as CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini reveals, they could have arrested him months ago and didn't, leaving a child predator to roam free.
She should be playing with dolls right now. She should be going to birthday parties right now.
Instead, a 10-year-old girl whose face we are not showing and some details we are not sharing for her protection was locked in a psychiatric hospital while her abusers remained free for months.
We have to get them off the street.
Including this Riverdale man, 37-year-old Samuel Brown. He is accused of meeting the girl online and taking her to a Chicago area garage in May of 2020 and sexually assaulting her.
So when you see and you read about something like this happening to a little girl, I'm just as outraged and frustrated as anybody else.
Jennifer Coleman is the first assistant state's attorney, the highest ranking state's attorney under Kim Foxx. A total of 5 men are accused of assaulting the girl since she was 7, but none of them were charged with a felony until our CBS 2 investigators exposed a pattern of police failing to put the men behind bars.
And the community will have a sense of outrage over that.
I understand that.
We sat down with Coleman last Thursday and asked why, as of that date, no one had ever been charged with sexual assault. She says because CPD never brought them any evidence.
They've never asked for felony charges, no.
The CBS 2 investigators obtained police reports involving 5 of the girl's accused abusers, and in at least 3 of the cases, rape kits were performed.
So in this case, involving this child, the results of any rape kits performed have not been brought to the state's attorney's office yet.
Not for filing felony charges.
But then suddenly, the very next day after this interview, Chicago police arrested Samuel Brown on felony charges for sexually assaulting the little girl. A rape kit done on the girl in May matched Brown's DNA. Why was Brown's DNA in the system? He was already a registered child sex offender. You'd think with that key evidence, CPD would have immediately arrested Brown once they had a match. But CPD sat on the results, allowing him to remain free for 4 months.
This is not acceptable. This was a 10-year-old baby.
Brenda Meyer.
Why does her face look plastic like that? Good Lord, woman. Y'all see her face? You see her face and then her neck. Brenda Myers Powell, who is Dreamcatcher Foundation. Damn, that looks like a mask on her face. She literally looks like the mask. That looks like a Halloween mask on her face. Like she like a burn victim. I'm sorry, that looks horrible. Who told her, oh, you look good, girl? Y'all just tell these people just anything, girl. You look good, girl. Get it, girl. Y'all just be patting people on the butt. You know they walking out looking crazy as hell. Golly.
To remain free for 4 months.
This is not acceptable.
I know it's not acceptable. Why do you got all that pounds and pounds? Look, girl, you had your years of being young and cute. It's okay to let it go sometimes. She literally looks like she got that casket face. She look casket fresh, does she not? When they put you in the casket, tell me that's exactly what she looks like. Like she just looked like she closed her eyes. Anyway, let me stop.
This was a 10-year-old baby.
Brenda Myers Powell is a local advocate appointed to the United States Council on Human Trafficking.
Make CPD stand up and do the job that we pay them to do.
She was stunned to learn police could have arrested Brown months ago and says all of this girl's abusers must be put behind bars.
What does it say to the offenders?
That you can sexually abuse, that you can traffic, that you can do whatever you want to black and brown little girls, and it's okay. Because that's what they've done. They've made it a joke.
We first introduced you to the little girl last month. The 5th grader was taken to the top floor of the Grand Motel, room 324. In that case, a different man was involved, a 47-year-old from Chicago. Concerned motel workers called the police. It happened back in October, but officers failed to arrest the man or even take the girl.
So the hotel workers saw something and said something at this $19 a night hotel. Maybe 15. And they did nothing. Look, man, have y'all ever heard of like an alley-oop? They literally threw the perfect pass in the air, and all they had to do was come in, grab the ball, slam it in the goal. They already had enough height on their jump. They had a good running start. All the police had to do was just not miss the dunk. And they still dropped the ball. How about that? The hotel workers gave them the perfect alley-oop, the perfect pass, and they still effed this up.
Girl to the hospital for a rape kit.
I really cannot comment on anything that the police may or may not have done with regard to their investigation. It would not be us who would be asking for the rape kit. That has to be done quickly and during the investigation.
So the state's attorney's office didn't know about the Grand Motel case?
In this case, we were never brought any charges to be considered.
The CBS 2 investigators have learned in 2020 alone, police were informed about 4 of her 5 abusers. Brown is accused of assaulting her in May. Later that summer, after no action from police or Child Protective Services, another man picked her up in his car and hit the road. The little girl was taken from Chicago across state lines to somewhere here in Gary, Indiana, where a 22-year-old man is accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting her.
That's really cool how they got a drone. Y'all, ooh. Guys, I don't mean to get off too far off of this case. They are literally going all out. They got this man on drone footage, and they failed to arrest these dudes in 7 months. They're going all out for these news interviews. Drone footage. But let a convicted child rapist run out in the streets, and not 1, not 2, but 5 of them. But we got drone footage of this fool down there on the ground.
He was gone for days when police finally got a tip and traced his cell phone number. He was eventually arrested, but get this, only on misdemeanor charges. And
that was impressive. That's impressive. They didn't give a crap about this girl at all, but they got drone footage of this news anchor. Why?
Misdemeanors? Harboring a runaway and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Misdemeanor charges, they're for swiping a candy bar from the
Good job, Chicago. Good job.
drugstore.
Thank you for setting the standard.
Charles Goldberg has been fighting on behalf of abused children for the Cook County Public Guardian's Office for 30 years.
Misdemeanor charges are not for somebody who would have sex and rape a 10-year-old girl.
Prosecutors say Chicago police didn't consult them before deciding to only pursue misdemeanor charges.
Now, I will give you that. Let me take a pause and let me give shout out to a person in the chat who said it seems like the news people do more than the police do sometimes, and that is absolutely true. Thank you for pointing that out. Because if it hadn't been for the news people, these 5 people wouldn't even be under any real pressure to be arrested for the crimes that they committed. So I got to give you that. Thank you for posting that.
Against the man who took her to Gary.
You said not cool at all, Jay? Look, you about to get cussed out. I just opened my lines a minute ago, and y'all wouldn't call in and tell me what y'all issue was. Now, Lady Dime, peace forever. And to my moderators, I don't want to see a single moderator block or time her out. What is your problem? What did I say that was wrong? Not cool at all, Jay. What did I say that was wrong? You better post something in that chat that explains what you mean, and it better be something that actually makes sense. A full sentence. Explain what you mean by not cool, Jay. Because Jay is about to go off. It's too effing late at night right now for me to keep looking at you write stupid crap like that and not explain what you mean. I'm going to pause my show again. You said not cool at all, Jay. You making it seem like I said something that wasn't cool. I don't think I misread that at all. Tell me what you meant. Lady Dime, peace forever. Maybe I read it wrong. She can write that I agree with you, or if you disagree with me. It don't take that long to write that. No, I'm not talking about Jay. Talking about this lady that's doing the same thing he does. All right, fair enough. All right. Thank you for clarifying. And thank you guys in the chat for paying attention. So, I don't know. I told y'all my attitude is just bad. Maybe I just didn't read that right. I'm really, really quick-tempered. So let me apologize, and y'all can hear me apologize live. I mean, you better stop laughing at me. My patience is really thin, so let me apologize publicly to Lady Dime Peace Forever. I'm sorry. I apologize. Jay is hangry. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. All right, my apologies. All right, let's keep going.
With misdemeanors, the police can do what we call direct filing. They just file that on their own.
So repeatedly, the Chicago Police Department did not come to the state's attorney's office and ask for felony charges.
No. We have not been presented with evidence to file charges.
It's a felony. All of it's a felony. All of it's a crime. This is a crucial part of what we expect our CPD.
Miss Casket Fresh. She got that casket fresh face. Now, if y'all ever hear anybody say that, y'all know they got it from me. Her face is casket fresh. If she closed her eyeballs, that'd be all she wrote. That's all you need to do. She is ready. She is ready.
To do is protect our children, if nothing else.
Our investigation prompted CPD to launch an internal probe into the mishandling of this girl's cases. After we started asking questions, CPD assigned a new detective to the case, and that's what led to the arrest of Samuel Brown late Friday.
So instead of them doing the right thing, they just passed the case off to somebody else. They didn't even want to redeem themselves. Isn't that something?
CPD says they're still investigating all of the other assault cases. Dave Savini, CBS 2 Investigators.
You can watch more on Dave.
All right, let's move on. This will be shorter on the replay, but I'm going to let a couple more of these videos play.
An update now on a story first exposed by the CBS 2 investigators. A series of
Hashtag casket ready. If y'all hear any YouTuber, I don't care if they big or small, if they say that, y'all know they got it from me. I literally just made that up. You can't Google that and find that nowhere. Our hashtags are unique. Casket ready.
Sexual assaults against a 10-year-old girl at a Chicago motel and how the system failed to protect her. CBS 2's Marissa Parra heard from activists who protested outside the motel today demanding changes. Marissa.
Erica, Chicago police say they're looking into why the detective on the case failed to make an arrest even after a DNA match with her rape kit test. Within the last week, Mayor Lori Lightfoot called this all a systemic failure. Activists say they want more than words.
Protect that black girl.
She got that casket fresh, casket face. Casket face. She got that morgue makeup. Who said that in the chat? I might have to steal that from you. Leanne said morgue makeup, morgue makeup, casket fresh. That's what it is. So hashtag morgue makeup, hashtag casket fresh. Because I have heard of casket fresh before. But she got that casket makeup.
They're here for the little girl who for years suffered abuse in silence, failed by the systems designed to protect her.
This was a mausoleum of horror. We are outraged as a community.
Our CBS 2 investigators revealed that back in October, it was here at the Grand Motel that a young black girl just 10 years old was sexually assaulted by a man almost 5 times her age. As our Dave Savini and team unraveled, she was sexually assaulted not once, not twice, but multiple times by at least 5 separate men across the city, even over state lines.
So many people have failed this child.
Until CBS 2's investigation aired, none of the 5 men had been charged. In the case of the Grand Motel assault, employees called police, but officers never took her to the hospital for a rape kit or even an evaluation. The Department of Children and Family Services had been monitoring the girl since she was 6 years old. They had over a dozen reports of her being neglected and abused by these men, and yet she wasn't taken into protective custody.
We have to rewind this whole damn thing. Where are this girl's parents? Where are this girl's parents? I want y'all to listen to this. They have protesters. You have not heard of her biological mother, biological father, auntie, uncle, cousin, family, friends. Nobody related to this girl has come out and said a freaking word. How is that possible? I'm not blaming this on CPS and nobody else. Where are the parents? That I told y'all, we're going to start putting the responsibility on the parents. Biological mothers, biological fathers. That's where the responsibility should lie. Should the police have done their job? Sure. Should they have a job to do if the parents did their job? Nope.
An update now on a story first exposed by the CBS 2 investigators. A series of sexual assaults against a 10-year-old girl at a Chicago motel and how the system failed to protect her. CBS 2's Marissa Parra heard from activists who protested outside the motel.
It makes me wonder if one of the 5 people, thank you, if one of the 5 people are like her legal custody guardian. I don't know what the freak is going on.
Hotel today demanding changes. Marissa.
Erica, Chicago police say they're looking into why the detective on the case failed to make an arrest even after a DNA match with her rape kit test. Within the last week, Mayor Lori Lightfoot called this all a systemic failure. Activists say they want more than words.
Protect that black girl.
They're here for the little girl who for years suffered abuse in silence, failed by the systems designed to protect her.
This was a mausoleum of horror. We are outraged as a community.
Our CBS 2 investigators revealed that back in October, it was here at the Grand Motel that a young black girl just 10 years old was sexually assaulted by a man almost 5 times her age. As our Dave Savini and team unraveled, she was sexually assaulted not once, not twice, but multiple times by at least 5 separate men across the city, even over state lines.
So many people have failed this child.
Until CBS 2's investigation aired, none of the 5 men had been charged. In the case of the Grand Motel assault, employees called police, but officers never took her to the hospital for a rape kit or even an evaluation. The Department of Children and Family Services had been monitoring the girl since she was 6 years old. They had over a dozen reports of her being neglected and abused by these men, and yet she wasn't taken into protective custody until she was found at the Grand Motel.
The hotel staff did their job by reporting the incident, and nobody answered their call.
And the men in this case, one was finally arrested after CBS 2 investigators uncovered a rape kit that matched his DNA, even though police had the result for months.
It was amazing that this was so well buried. And without Dave Savini of CBS News, this would have stayed buried.
Chicago police say they've launched an internal investigation. They, along with DCFS, have even met with some of the activists here.
We want to see the walk. We don't want to hear the talk. And that's what I want them to do. Do what I pay them for, to get these type of predators off the street.
The activists you saw there today say they plan to protest each month until every single one of her abusers.
Since the age of 6. How? How is that even possible?
Is arrested and charged. We're live outside of Chicago Police Headquarters. Marissa Parra, CBS 2 News.
And you heard them speak about Dave Savini. He, the CBS 2 investigator, has done several reports on this case exposing the missteps. You can watch all of his reports.
Not gonna keep promoting that. Let's go.
Chicago's top cop now answering to delays in a chilling child sex abuse case, first exposed by the CBS 2 investigators. CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey joins us now live in our Streetside studio. Megan, Chicago police have made 2 arrests in this case, but they didn't come until after the CBS 2 investigators uncovered the story.
Right, Brad. It's the story of a 10-year-old girl sexually abused by multiple men over a period of several years. Today, the superintendent said they're still looking into how and why this ball was dropped.
We are currently having an administrative investigation to determine whether or not there's any officers that need to be held accountable, and we will hold officers accountable for not doing their job fully.
2 men are now behind bars facing charges that they sexually abused that 10-year-old girl. 43-year-old Joseph Brenner, arrested this week, is accused of taking her to this Southside motel and raping her on more than one occasion. 37-year-old Samuel Brown was accused of meeting the girl on a dating app and sexually assaulting her in a garage. Police had DNA evidence linking Brown to the rape since November, and yet he wasn't arrested until March, after our story started raising questions. I asked Brown to respond to critics like Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who argue that too often victims like this 10-year-old are blamed when they should be treated as victims.
I would refer you to my first answer. We're taking this case very seriously. We are pursuing these offenders. We are holding any and all officers accountable that didn't do their job. And we're going to continue to pursue justice for this 10-year-old.
Now, Brown didn't comment on the specifics about the lags in this investigation.
We still got one more video to watch. I know y'all are still listening, so let me thank the ones who have donated. It just came in, says Chicago Insanity and Cash App. Alfred with an M. Alfred with an M donated by way of Cash App. Thank you. To Rob with the W, said the children, hashtag AFC, showing love. Rob, if you're listening, thank you. Angry Man, my guy, donated by way of Cash App. Thank you, bro. Amber, if you're listening, said just dropping by, show some love, Jay. Amber and Cash App, if you're listening, thank you as well. There was also one PayPal that came in just now from Brenda with an S. It said, thank you for all that you do. If you're listening, Brenda with an S, thank you, thank you. Those are the most recent ones that just came in, but I wanted to shout y'all out before we finish, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you, Crystal Black. I don't know what currency that is, but it has an A in front of it. But I'm going to say thank you very much. Showing some love, Crystal Black. Much love. Thank you.
Investigation, but said that the case, I should say, was immediately reassigned to a new detective once these questions were raised by a report back in February. Brad?
Yeah, months and months of lags. What is the status of the police department's internal investigation, Megan, into those delays?
I asked about that today. I'm told that that is still pending, but they are working on revising their policies, their procedures, their training to make sure that these kinds of lags in investigations don't happen again in the future.
CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey. Megan, our thanks tonight for a closer look at how our reporting led to the arrests.
You said this is the only channel that actually has a real meaning to exist. I watch you every day here in London. Thank you for that compliment. But I will say there are multiple channels like mine that I think that do a good job. And I say like mine when it comes to advocating for children and speaking on these stories and doing real things out there. So I definitely don't want to take all the credit because it's not a me thing. It's a we thing. We do this together, even all the way out there in London. You just living a life and advocating for children, seeing something and saying something, no matter where you live. You could be an advocate for children anywhere. And I thank you so much, not only for being a supporter of our stream and our channel, but thank you so much for really just, like I say, just thinking of the children first. But thank you for that. All right, one last video, then I'm going to give y'all my closing thoughts.
Good Friday afternoon. I'm Brad Edwards.
And I'm Erica Sargent, Chicago's police superintendent, now answering to the delays by police in a horrendous child sexual abuse case.
Thank you, Alfred. Much loved. And a channel member. Look at that. Thank you very much.
First exposed by the CBS 2 investigators. 2 men now arrested for abusing a 10-year-old girl and a string of sexual assaults dating back years.
CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey joining us now live. Megan, today you asked Superintendent David Brown about the lag time in this investigation.
Right, Brad. Both of these men were identified as suspects months ago, but they weren't arrested and charged until after the CBS 2 investigators exposed this story. Today, Superintendent Brown told me they're looking into how and why that ball was dropped. 2 men are now behind bars facing charges that they sexually abused a 10-year-old girl. In the case of 43-year-old Joseph Brenner, arrested this week. He's accused of taking her to this Southside motel and raping her on more than one occasion. At one point, dressing her up to look older and trafficking her to other men. During the same period, 37-year-old Samuel Brown was accused of meeting the girl on a dating app and sexually assaulting her in a garage. Police had DNA evidence linking Brown to the rape since November, and yet he wasn't arrested until March, after our story started raising questions. Today, I asked Superintendent Brown why.
We are currently having an administrative investigation to determine whether or not there's any officers who need to be held accountable, and we will hold officers accountable for not doing their job fully.
Brown did not comment on specifics about the lags in this investigation, but told me CPD immediately reassigned the case to a new detective following questions raised by our report in February. Police reports obtained by the CBS 2 investigators identified 5 possible suspects. CPD tells me a 3rd suspect with ties to this victim was released without charging, but this investigation is ongoing. I also asked Brown about Mayor Lori Lightfoot's comments on this case. Quote, "We must also stop the adultification of black girls, who too often are blamed when they should be treated as victims, particularly in cases of sexual abuse." Brown didn't quite answer.
I would refer you to my first answer. We're taking this case very seriously.
You're asking how is she on a dating app? Because with these rapists and child sex traffic people, they do it for them. They take pictures of them and post it themselves. It's not the kids doing it. It's not the kids doing it. It's the adults that are raping them. They're doing it.
We are pursuing these offenders. We are holding any and all officers accountable that didn't do their job. and we're going to continue to pursue justice for this 10-year-old.
You know what? That is possible. Jamie says something real important. They might not say because they don't want the victim to be identified. I get that, but it don't seem like that's even doing any good. Let me explain what I mean. The more they don't identify the victim, the more this victim continues to stay out there and people is still sex trafficking this girl. The more people don't know, like, oh crap, that's such and such. Nobody knows. It's messed up either way it goes.
PD tells me they're continuing to revise their policies, procedures, and training to prevent unnecessary delays in the future. Live in the Streetside studio, Megan Hickey, CBS 2 Investigators.
Man. My closing thoughts about this. We can blame this on the mayor. We could blame this on the police. We could blame this on CPS. We could blame this on the 2 men that y'all saw in the video. We could blame it on the 5 people that are implicated in this story. At the end of the day, if you guys have watched my channel long enough, then you should know where I'm going to place the blame squarely. On the biological mother and biological father. That is where all of the problems start. That is the foundation. That is where the protection should come from the family. You have not heard any family members, mother or father, come out, grandmother, cousin, family, friends, nobody related to this child has come out and spoken up. That is where the failure is. If the family doesn't care, then it seems like this girl was just left out to hang out and dry, literally and figuratively, and was just at the mercy. As far as the police goes, I mean, clearly this is egregious on their part to allow this to go, for these men to go unarrested for 7 months. Do y'all know how much more damage they could do in 7 months? Not only to this kid, but to other kids. It doesn't sound right. And for those who might believe in conspiracies, is this something bigger? I don't have any idea. I don't know. It's not really the realm that I operate in. I can't say whether this is something bigger, some bigger cover-up. I don't know. But all I can say is that the protection should have started at the biological mother and biological father. That's where the breakdown happened, and that's where this girl was really left in an exposed fashion. And until we can start fixing that and start caring for our children, start advocating for our children first, it has to matter to us first. We can't go pointing the finger at everybody else if it don't matter to us. And that's where the problem needs to be fixed, at home. I'm DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC, where we put our children first. From my heart to yours, I hope you listen with an open mind and an open heart. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. Like, share, and subscribe. If there's any more that we can tell you, we'll present it on this channel, and we'll talk to you guys at a later date. Make sure you guys have a great day. Take care of your children. I love you all. Yeah, have a great day and have a great night. All right, peace. I just don't know what else to say. Thank y'all so much for being patient. I only had to block one person. I only had to block one person, like one person a month. We're doing really good over here. We're doing really good. Thank y'all so much. Show some love to our sponsors. Support the channel if you can. All right. For those who do, thank you. For those who haven't, you got opportunities whenever you can. We'll talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Peace.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-size masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you. Exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Designs. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else.